meaning Sean Meehan and Keith was not there. Dan was not there. Gil went. I don't know all. I don't remember all because 2015 was my first year, but that was the first year they had a closet that you could actually go in, and it was their classroom, and they talked about X-Lights, and they didn't have classes. And one of the things that the ladies at the expo had to understand was that X-Lights was a free software, so they don't make any money. And so they gave them this, what looked like a broom closet. It was really small. The crowd for X-Lights started growing. 2016 was much bigger. Sean did classes. I think that's when Keith came. That would have been Chicago. And I believe in 2016 they did a Las Vegas seminar. And so when they had the seminar was controlled by X-Lights, by Sean and Keith and all the development team. Now, fast forward to 2018 and 2019, that's whenever they decided to coincide the training, the immersion into the expo. And the reason for that was that Keith can only come over to the United States once a year. It's just such a huge trip. So, they made it so that it was all at once. If everybody was going to go somewhere, it was going to be to quote unquote expo. So let's just do it at expo. The ladies allowed them to have the immersion classes, and the price probably jumped up. I don't remember. But that's where that came from. So the idea that it had not always been there. And I don't think X-Lights always had a perfect presence at like the expo, but what there was classes on it of the people who were willing to teach it. And so this year and last year, there's been a very noticeable, infusion of training just in the pixel side for the DIYers for X-Lights.
Get your question, Keith?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So do you think it's more beneficial for Expo to change locations every year? They were in Chicago. They were in Texas this year. They're in Florida. We're not sure where they're going to be next year yet. Is it more beneficial to hit the Christmas community more in that area?
You know, I have a unique perspective on that. We used to, as a family, every year on our vacation, go somewhere different. And that's always fun. You go somewhere different and it's exciting, but it's also kind of stressful because you have to learn about where things are and where things go. And, and then we started doing these trips where it was the same place every year. And that became a whole lot less stressful because you knew exactly what to do, exactly where to go, exactly where it's going to be fun and exciting, exactly how to prepare. And there was no ambiguity and no stress. And so my advice would be I would prefer if Expo was in one place, because then you can plan for what you're going to do when you get there. And, you look forward to the things rather than it kind of being a surprise and you don't really know, or what time am I supposed to be places. And I think that's where Transworld gets it pretty good is they just stay in one place. And I'm already looking forward to like the city museum thing, because I've been there already and I'm excited about it and I'm excited to go back.
And there's so much we haven't seen in that place.
Yeah.
And we have a great barbecue place to go return to, David.
That's right.
Just don't take the second right.
True. Make sure you turn into the barbecue place's RV parking lot and eat there and leave there. Don't hang around.
That was the only barbecue place in St. Louis that would actually take reservations. I'm just going to throw that out there for who. I helped her. I am. Maggie, I was helping her with this because she had bad cell phone reception, and that was the only place.
I didn't say anything bad about it. It was actually a really good place.
Okay, good. All right.
It was
okay.
Really
it was just in a little bit of a stabby neighborhood.
Well, yeah, you had one that was packing, I think.
For the people that don't know the story, though, it should be explained that we went to lunch.
Dinner. That was dinner.
Out of town.
Dinner.
Oh, excuse me, dinner. And our Uber drivers did not want to take us to this part of town.
we went under an underpass, and it was like you crossed over into the dark side.
South St. Louis.
We went to another state.
You were like in a whole different state, literally, figuratively too.
Yeah,
they take reservations.
They took reservations, and the food wasn't bad. I had the pork steak.
Well, they took reservations because there was literally nobody that wanted to go there.
So Jay,
it was a really nice RV park.
I was just going to say trailer park, but I always forget that it was an RV park. So trailer park sounds better.
An RV park
in Stabby neighborhood.
Yeah, but it was fun. And then the bars we went to after, I am looking forward to going back to the PBR bar next year.
Yeah, we already have this kind of schedule already set just because we know the lay of the land, right?
So the converse to this is, and I'll play devil's advocate here. I have experienced Expo 4 times in the past 5 years. I rather enjoy going to different places that I've never gone before. Now I don't get to travel very much, maybe more this year than I have in a long time. But let me tell you, I had a great time going to Chicago. I really thoroughly enjoyed being in Florida. Going to Daytona. I hadn't been to Daytona Beach since I was 14. So that was 30 years ago. I had a great time. I went to Texas twice. I had a great time going down to Texas. None of it ever bothered me for traveling. And I think what David's experience is an experience that many of us do have, is the stress of trying to be entertaining while you're on vacation. Because the idea of going on vacation is to go have a great time, do things you can't get to do whenever you're at home. So as far as the expo moving around, I really didn't mind it that much. I'm surprised that they went so far to the Atlantic coast. It wasn't as centralized as it normally was. It normally is, and usually that's one of their goals, is to keep it central so that you can hop on a flight and be there in like 6 hours, 5 hours max. But this time it was a little bit longer for people on the West Coast. So to me, I don't think it's really a bad thing that they changed location everywhere. That number two is it gives other people the chance that if it's too far away and they're not willing to make the trip, maybe it comes closer the next year and they'd say, oh, okay, well, it's in my backyard. I'll go this time. Whereas Transworld, you're kind of locked into it. You're going to Missouri. Sorry.
Yeah, and I didn't mean to insinuate that it was a bad thing that they.
Oh, no, not at all. Not at all.
It was just, personal preference wise, I think, in Texas, man, it was fun. It was great. But God, that was hot. Hot down there.
And again, keep in mind too, Transworld, they made that decision, A, because it is central, and B, just because of the sheer size of it. I mean, they got almost 500,000 square feet. The convention center. That's
true. Right? But also you have to remember that Transworld was derived from a trade show that was up in Chicago. And Transworld has grown every year since they moved there. I don't know how long. I don't know the whole story about Transworld, but it definitely is. Brian's getting all excited. He's leaning forward.
It had to fix my stand again.
It has grown, and it's grown on its own merit through the years. So that's something to be said. And I think one of the reasons why it has grown is because the organizers have looked outside of the box to find different ways to continue to let it grow. So I think it is a natural progression that they would bring Christmas into it. And naturally, I think the DIYers will start to see, hey, this is somewhere else to go. This is somewhere different. David's looking forward to going to again. JR wants to go climbing holes.
And I think they are different. You see people posting online, well, should I go to Transworld or should I go to Expo? And I really don't think that that's a fair question, right? They are still very different shows, I think, with different goals. The person that's going to want to be the newbie and learn a lot. I think Expo is probably going to be a better choice. And especially just for us DIYers and us meeting all of our friends, like I said, walking to that expo floor, it's like, everybody there, when you get to Christmas Expo. So
generally, how long does Expo wait to release their next dates and location?
Oh, when did it come out? February? Did it come out?
Typically the location is kept secret, and it was back in 2015 or 2015. I paid for my tickets. In fact, it's on my Leechburg Lights website. I got excited because Christmas Expo came out and I wanted to go. And I was learning RGB. I had learned RGB and I wanted to go. And I got to meet John Storm. So it was the greatest thing ever. Best picture I ever had. One of the greatest pictures. I have a number of pictures with you guys too, which are rather great also. Make that clear real quick.
Rather great also.
But the whole now I can't remember the question.
How long until they release dates and locations?
Okay. So my first year it was February-ish, 2015. As the years go on, it seems like they release it a little earlier each year. The dates are always posted on their website. So the dates, it's always the same week in July. But the difference is the location. So they'll post where it's going to be at. I think they brought it out in November, maybe December this year. I feel like it was really, really early.
It was before. Yeah, it was November, December.
Right. And the other thing too is this is also something that is the expo is something that is not 100%, but it's supported, and their major contributor is Lightorama. So it is something that's contributed by the biggest industry leader. And as of this year, I don't know if any of you noticed that, but there was no LOR presence at Transworld.
Yeah, no, there weren't.
So that's just something to think about. Like, so as far as when we'll know where we're going, that we're not going to know probably until Christmas.
Yeah.
So
because that's where I was like right now, if I was trying to plan and scheme and find flights and stuff, I know when Transworld is and where it is.
Mm-hmm.
I could be Hawkeyeing flights and everything else.
Yep, you're right. But you also know the dates of where it's going to be, of when it's going to be. So that's one thing that they keep posted every year. So there's actually 3 years of dates that they've already posted. So they're committed to doing it for at least the next 2 years, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that's my downside I have with Expo is not knowing where it's going to be. Like I wish they would announce it at Expo where the next Expo is going to be. That way you have a year to plan and maybe even plan more of a vacation around it. Because you could,
like a Saturday wrap up, before everybody starts packing up, before it's actually over. Nobody's leaving yet, and then make the announcement.
Yeah, I think that would help them have more attendance too. Is if it was farther ahead, you could find cheaper flights, make arrangements, stuff like that. I think would be more beneficial for them.
Do we really like looking for flights and getting our motel rooms and everything? I absolutely hate it.
It's not fun, but
I loved looking for San Diego. I didn't know where it was. I knew it was west. That was so much fun. And then I pulled up a map and I'm like, holy cow, I could throw a rock into Tijuana.
Yeah.
So yeah, Mexico? I enjoy that.
I don't know. There's something to be said about knowing exactly where you need to go, planning everything. I mean, the anxiety of not knowing, that's the downside.
So Keith and Brian and Daniel, you guys haven't been to either Expo or Transworld?
No, but is there? First of all, is there a reason you haven't gone to them, and is there something that you're looking forward to in either of them in the future?
I'll start with that. This is my first year. I didn't do a show last year. I've been to 2 minis, and I wasn't in any sort of position to be going to an expo and being more overwhelmed with what I have going on than I already am.
Got it. So was it a little bit, I don't know, did you feel like you just weren't at the level to absorb or benefit as much from the classes, or you just wanted to learn more?
felt like I was at the level that if I went, I'd spend more money than I had planned on doing so. In the first year and a half of the show that I'm going to have,